Welcome to another episode of the Sipping and Tripping podcast, where we connect with amazing people. Today's topic is manifestation, success, and shifting realities. I am your host, Desmond Black, and the person that's sipping and tripping with me today is Miss Kristen motherfucking Clark.
Yeah, you said
Um, she is a supernova public speaker, author, and metaphysical thought leader, known for dismantling illusions and breaking reality wide open. As the creator of the metaphysical, right? Speaking,
excellent.
she invites audiences to explore a radically different lens on existence. She speaks on the fallacy of death, and her upcoming event, live and unfiltered, pushes the conversations even further. To sum it up, she's a spiritual mastermind. She was featured in um, the Bold Journey magazine, and she is quoted for saying, "Relentless excellence isn't a mindset; it's a frequency, a decision, and non-negotiable." She speaks on reality-coded sovereignty. She is none other than, like I said, Miss Kristen motherfucking Clark.
There you go.
So,
I
how
love
are you
that you
doing? And how
did
was your
it.
weekend?
Uh, my weekend was amazing, and we got snow. It
Snow?
snowed. Yeah, I'm in Southern California. Hello.
Oh, okay. See, I'm in New Jersey, so we the
You're
snow
like,
is over for us.
whatever.
Yeah, we had just minimum snow, and like I said, those days are over. We heading into the summertime, so that's
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah, we haven't quite got the message yet about it being spring.
Right, right, right. All right. So on my platform, I like to conversate, educate, and entertain. So without further ado, can you tell the viewers about your podcast and what made you start it?
I don't have a podcast.
Oh, okay. So on YouTube, what is that?
Oh, I have a very old podcast that I did a long time ago. It was called Kristen Clark Unmasked, and it was during the COVID time when everybody was wearing masks.
Oh, okay, okay.
And, for me, that was a huge symbolism of fear. Um,
Mm,
and so the podcast was really about moving beyond that fear and letting the fearing in anything control you, and understanding that even if you are in fear, it's okay. It's okay to trust in your trembles. It's okay.
right.
But are you seeing what your mindset is creating in your reality? And that's why I call it the me to physical, because it always comes back to you. Always, everything in your reality, the frequency you're putting out is what is showing up. And
Right.
at some point you take control. You stop handing over your power, your control, your mindset, everything to anything outside of you think is bigger than you. And you realize nothing is bigger than you. Nothing.
Okay.
And
Okay.
everything falls into that category of nothing.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Um. So where were you born and where did you grow up?
Whew, all over the place. I was born in
Mm,
Northern California, and I grew up everywhere. I even lived in New York, upstate New York. So out there by you, we handled it. Us California girls, we handled it for about a year and a half, and then we came running back home. We
uh,
were like, forget this. This
so what
sucks.
what was it about New York and out on the East Coast that you didn't like?
Winter. See, and now
What?
this was the 70s when winter was really winter. You had an
Okay.
8 month long winter, and it was brutal. I was in upstate New York, so I was up by Lake Superior, and it was
Okay.
brutal. But see, I
Yeah.
was just a little kid, so for me, it was just like, yay, it's snowing again, no school again.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but it was no, couldn't do
I
it.
got you. So do you have any siblings?
Oh yeah, I'm the youngest of six.
The youngest of six.
I'm the
All the
baby.
same parents.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, six kids. I mean, I ain't too far behind. I got four, so I got two mothers, four kids.
And where are you in? I mean, are you saying siblings or your own kids?
Oh, my own kids. I'm sorry. My
No,
bad.
that's okay.
As far as siblings, I have four brothers, so I'm one of five, and I am the fourth to be born out of the five.
Oh, so you're
Right.
almost the youngest.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
with
So
my
you
mother,
know
like
what it's.
it's yeah. So with my mother, it's two fathers, five kids. So I'm
Yeah.
the fourth to be born to my mother.
Yeah,
Um.
you know what it's like to be the one where, because the first child is, it's like, the sunshine. Everybody has to take pictures, and all the hopes and dreams of the family is set on that child, and it's just so much attention. By the time any of them after number three come along, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go do what you want.
I'm not there yet though, because I had my first kid. My first son. Like you said, it was about taking pictures. It was the first one. I'm like, okay, I did it. I have one. I got that out of the way. Scratched it off my bucket list. Uh, Everything
Bucket
was cool
list.
first couple months. But then after the first couple months, it was like all the glitz and glamour just faded away. I was like, okay, I got a kid. And then that was 2014, and then 2020, the year of COVID, I had my second one, and yeah, I was excited. And probably just as excited as the first one. Maybe even a little bit more. I'm not sure because I always believed in having more than one kid, right? Because say I could have a playmate and all that. So I was either more excited or just as excited. I can't remember. Uh, the third one threw me for a loop, though. The third one, it just came out of nowhere. Kid's mom was like, "I'm pregnant." I was like, "What?" I thought it was a joke, and I thought it was a joke for a couple of days before she was like, "I'm pregnant." I'm like, "Why you keep saying that?" She's like, "Cause I'm pregnant." I was like, "For real?" So that's sunk in. Now the fourth one, I would say, like my daughter, it was just like, "Oh, okay, I have another kid," and for me, that excitement wasn't fully there, and I think it's because I think every father has this fear about having a daughter, right? So it's like my mom was playing tricks on me. I'm like, dang, I got a girl now. This is crazy. I got to change my lifestyle. I got to change my verbiage, how I speak, and how I act around the house. Then I kept telling myself, I got some time before I got to make those adjustments. She young. She ain't gonna understand nothing. But yeah, when I see her now, I'm like, dang. Every time I see her, I'm like, I'm gonna have to change my life for her. I can't be listening to the same music because I don't want her to be what I'm saying, subjected to that.
Yeah,
But
that's
I keep
awesome.
trying to rationalize in my head that I still got some time. So right now, that's
Yeah. No,
um
you don't. They're little sponges from the minute they come out, whether they're showing it to you or not.
right. But hey, I love my kids, man. Love my kids. I couldn't imagine life without them. They all
Yeah.
got their own little personalities. Neither one of them's the same. The two oldest, they don't get along. They love each other, they just don't get along, and that's you get a headache dealing with their BS every day. But it is what it is. We all was
Put
there at some point
boxing
in our life.
gloves on them and say, "Here, you guys, go work it out."
It's a 5 year difference though. One's 10, one's 5. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Teaches a 5-year-old to either shut up or buck up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what do you do for a living?
I am a speaker, an author, and I'm the founder of the Metaphysical.
Okay. So that's your primary employment.
Yeah. Yeah. This is my
Okay.
business.
Okay, there you go. Okay, your business, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm stepping into the realm of being an entrepreneur. I have my own business, but
Yeah.
that's another story. Okay, are you religious?
Not at all. In the fact, in it depends on what you mean by religious. Spiritual, yes, I'm very spiritual. What I do is it's all about the spiritual, but it's very much beyond that. As far as
Mm,
religious and thinking that anything is bigger than me, such as a god, a source, or whatever, no. I've done
okay,
it, been there, done it, and then
I got you.
you start realizing that there are questions you have that aren't getting answered,
Right,
and that just don't fit into the neat little package of this is God, this is how you behave, and this is what you do, and this is what you get. And you it works for a while. It works great for a while, but then
right,
it's like a chicken and egg. You're very comfortable in there, and you're growing, and you're doing very well. But there comes a point where you're too big for that ache.
Mm. Mm.
And you either got to peck your way out or just be in misery for a long time. And
Okay,
whether,
gotcha.
whether it was religion or the metaphysical or esoteric or non-duality or any theology, I played in them
Mm.
all until
Okay.
I just developed my own.
Yeah, understood. Understood. Yes, I'm not religious either, man. Like I'm tiptoeing on the thought of being spiritual, but I don't know. It's one of those things I don't give too much thought to. But
If it speaks to you and you find comfort in it and you find a relief and something really that sings on your heart, then yeah. But if it's not talking to you, forcing it is the worst thing you could do.
right. Hello, China. How you doing? Glad to see you. Popped on.
You, China. Is that supposed to
um,
be yo or is that supposed to be
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah, I believe it's yo.
Yo.
So all right, so we know about your business and what do you do in your spare time? Like when you
You don't
have
know shit about
downtime.
my business, babe. You don't know
Well,
anything about what I do.
we're gonna get
I'm
there. I'm
gonna
just
come.
saying,
I'm coming
besides
to you.
that, what do you like to do in your spare time besides work on that?
You sure you don't want to know more about my business? Okay.
No, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
But you know what? Because it fits in with my spare time. This is what I
Okay.
do. Yeah, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. Oh, that's good.
Started going to church too.
Yeah,
It's addition to like okay.
definitely not. Forcing is definitely not a good idea. I fully agree. Fully agree. Yeah. Don't know shit about her business.
She like that. She like that. Uh,
Well, it's true because it's like you can't skim over my business because what I
right,
do as a business is, like I said, this is, some people like they go on vacation or they're going to go, this is my vacation. This is what I love to do. This is my spare time.
right,
And it's interacting with the me because the me itself is so
right.
enormous. You really, I mean, it's like if we're focusing on stuff outside of us, we're missing the man behind the curtain. We're missing this unbelievable being right here who has never not been by your side.
Mm,
Everything in your reality, your children, your baby mamas, all of them come and go, come and go, come and go. And even
right.
if they live with you, they still come and go. They'll go off to school or go off to whatever. You, however, have never not come and gone. You're always right there, always.
Mm,
So beliefs, ideas, feelings, talking about beliefs, religion, all that stuff. When I say it comes in and interacts with you, I mean, like, maybe you're reading something that is your whatever your belief is, whatever keeps you comfy. And you go to work, your boss comes in, talks to you and leaves. Your employees come in and talks to you and they leave. But you have never left you. You can't. You can't. You try and think of not existing.
right.
You can imagine anything, but you can't imagine not existing. And that's
Mm,
enormous when you step into there. When you step down that rabbit hole and you realize, oh, that's right.
mm,
I
right.
have never left me. I have never stopped believing in my dreams. When you remember something from your past, you are always there. You're not remembering your friend doing something and you're not there. You're always there within every single one of your memories. You're always there viewing whatever ideas, whatever feelings, whatever interactions. You're always there. When you wake
Mm,
up, you're the first thing there. When you go to sleep, you're the last thing there. You're always there. So it gets you start asking yourself, maybe this is where I should be focusing instead
mm,
of worrying about some God who's judging me and judging my thoughts and my beliefs and my ideas. And am I vibrating high enough? Am I happy enough? I'll read that. That thought is how you heal your abandonment and attachment issues too. Amen. Yes. Yes. Because you realize that all these things that come and go, abandonment, fathers, whatever, That doesn't mean anything, because you cannot abandon you. It's not possible. So I'm going to
Right.
ask all you guys a question, and it's just to take and give you a moment to really think about something big. Do you have any memory of not existing?
Rhetorical, you want me to respond?
Go for it.
I mean, no. I mean, because as long as we're in the present, right? How can we have a memory of non-existence, right? That's how.
Exactly. Well, even if you're in the past, are you having any
Right.
memory? Even if you're playing with a past life regression or a
Mm.
past life memory, who's viewing that memory? Who's talking about it? Who's taking the trip down past life regression avenue?
I mean, that'd be us, right?
Yeah. You've never not existed.
Right.
You've never not existed. So if you've never not existed, what does that mean about death? What does that mean about
Mm.
who you were before you were born? Were you really
Mm.
born?
Mm.
Told you I was taking you down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. I mean
You're
that
sitting here
that
wanting
that
me. Go ahead.
that alone is deep.
Yeah, this is what I do. You want to know my business? This is what I do right here. Yeah. When you sit around feeling like you have no one, you forget that you do have you. Yes,
Mm.
it's
Mm.
true. And it's more than just you have you. You've
Mm.
never left you.
Right.
When you are down, hit the dirt, and now you're digging when you're at rock bottom,
Right.
who's right there beside you?
Yourself, your inner self.
Yeah. Or yourself. You answered it right, your first one. Yourself.
Right.
This inner
Right.
self thing, who the fuck is that? Where is that? Is it in my armpit?
Mm.
Is it up my nose? Where's this inner self? Never met her, never seen her. The one I see, taste, touch, feel, smell, whatever, right here. That's why it's called the me to physical, not the
Mm.
soul to physical, not the invisible consciousness to physical.
Right.
Metaphysical really is the invitation to quit playing with the invisible and start playing with what's right here as improve. Past lives were all different and people different. So your consciousness is the one who's
Mm.
experiencing. Okay, that's one way to look at it.
Mm. That's powerful. That's definitely powerful. Uh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kristen, unfiltered. That's what she do.
Yep,
Uh,
unfiltered.
yeah, unfiltered. Um, so a podcast you had, right? You said that you had 3 near-death experiences.
Yeah,
Tell us about that, because I was just listening to that last night on one of the I believe the YouTube videos you had.
yeah, yeah. Yes, I've had three. Well, okay. So let's just go with the near-death experiences. The thing about you, though, as in the me, you die all the time. If you think about who you were when you were 16 years old, the beliefs you had, didn't you think like, this is me, this is who I am, and you can't
Right.
tell me anything because you're not the boss of me. Your beliefs, the music you liked, everything about you felt so concrete, felt so real. But if you look at who you are now, every part of that 16-year-old is gone, long gone.
Right.
It doesn't even register. And so that's death. That's death. All those cells, every single cell in your body has died and reformed. You literally, truly have died. Now, near-death experiences. When I was a little kid, I got into my mother's pills, and back then it was Ephedrine, for decongestants. It wasn't as nice as the ones we have now. It was pretty hardcore, and
Right.
I just thought they were M&Ms, and even though they tasted horrible, and I I got into them and I ate them all, and then I tripped my brains out that I remember seeing like rats in my carpet. I remember seeing things in my closet. It was interesting. And then the next morning, my parents discovered all the empty bottles in my little basket. And so my father, who's a doctor, decided to stay home with me and just see if it'll pass through or what. And I ended up, back then, they used to believe you could swallow your tongue. And what happens is you go into such a state of death that your tongue just settles back. You don't really swallow it. But I stopped breathing, and my father, we were driving, and he pulled over and he got me breathing again. And so that one I don't really count because I was just a little kid. But the second and third one, the second one I drowned. I was out surfing in waves I had no business being in, and I drowned. I kept getting pummeled. And when you surf, you can turn over. It's called turn turtle, and the wave will hit the bottom of your surfboard and you're underneath being protected. Well, at some point you just get exhausted, and I couldn't get in and I couldn't get out. I was just right in the line where the waves just kept hitting me. And these were monster storm waves, and they wouldn't stop. You can't, with Mother Nature, you just can't say, hold on. She don't listen. And the last wave that hit me, I was so exhausted. I couldn't even take a breath. I didn't even know this was possible, that you can be so tired that the diaphragm of taking a breath wasn't working. And it's called absolute muscle failure. And so all you could do is just like close your eyes and close your mouth. And the wave hit me. I lost my board. The leash snapped. And I knew, right? And I mean, you just know. You just know this is done. This is done. We're done here. And in that moment, I realized my son is on the shore playing with his friends, and he was 8 years old. And I was like, no, I'm not leaving my child. No. And I popped up. That was just something I really remember. And I popped up, and there was a surfer there, and there was nobody there before. There's nobody. I wish there had been. There was nobody there before. And he got me in. And once I was in, I realized you just have this knowing that was death. That was death. I don't understand it. There was no white light, but that was death. There was a presentation of change, and I said no, and that was death. And the thing is you don't, when people are telling stories, it it's kind of like, okay, and that's the end, shut the book. But that's not what happened. You get towed in, you're in shock, but you got to go get your surfboard and get your child and get in the car and go home and make him dinner and, call your friend and cry on the phone about what happened, and then take a shower and go to bed, and the next day go to work. And you don't stop. You don't stop. You always get to the other side. And if you look back at your life, anytime anything big or small or whatever happened, you always get to the other side. Even when you're like, there's no way, I'm screwed, you still get to the other side. When you think I have no money, I've lost my job, I've lost everything, I'm even homeless, you still get to the other side of that, don't you?
Right.
And so that was a huge aha on that one. But the last one was my one that really showed me that we don't stop existing. And I was up here in the mountains where I live, and I was driving. Yes, Southern California has mountains. And I was driving, and I went over the cliff. I went off the cliff. And this is a dead. There's nothing down there. This is a straight drop for many, 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 forever. And just as I went over the cliff, and I'm like, blink the eye, and now I'm down the road, parked on the side of the road. And I was really confused. I was like, how did I get here? I was over thin air. And I looked back at where I had driven over the cliff, and I actually kind of was looking for me. I was looking for my car and me. And I was just like, what is going on? And in that moment, I heard, do you have any memory of not existing? And I just sat there and I thought about that. And I was like, no, but that's too simple. That's too simple an explanation. Our inner seekers love fanfare. We love the past life regressions. We love all that very, seeking and step by step and bullet point lists of how to transform. We love all that. But
Right.
this was too simple. This was just like, no, that's too simple. But I could feel the the realness in that. And so from that space, you just keep going forward. And the coolest thing is this, it didn't make me think like, oh, this is something I got to teach everybody. And that was the first time I felt that.
Mm.
I felt like it was just this, well, this is fun and this is my life. And when somebody has something that they're experiencing that completely juxtaposes my experience, I love hearing their stories because I was there. I was there believing in spirit guides and angels and past life regressions and all of that, and Reiki and energy and all that. I was there and it was awesome. It was so much fun. And when it changed, which it always does, you always switch. When I say you get to the other side, I don't just mean the bad things, even the
Right.
things we love, like, a belief in a God or whatever. At some point, you get to the other side of that too, because you're like the sun going through the sky. You just don't stop. You just
Right.
don't stop. So, any questions in that? By the
Well,
way,
no, well,
anybody who's watching this, if you have questions, please ask.
right. Yeah, I always encourage that too. Now you say the Reiki, right? When
Mhm.
you talk about the like the quantum healing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, I
Okay.
love the
Okay.
quantum. Quantum is fun. And a lot of this is quantum. It's very. I'm kind of a science nerd. So when I was believing in, angels and spirit guides and all that, it just there was just something that didn't sit well with me because it's like, come on, I want to see it, taste it, touch it. I want
Mm.
proof. This is
Right.
what, made me have a hard time with the belief in God. I want proof. And don't send a butterfly my way. That's not proof. I want I want to hear, because I can always hear me. If I
Right.
ask a question and there's no answer, it's like, well, is there anybody really there? And
Right.
it's like, okay, well, I'm taught I have to just go on faith. Well, faith only
Right.
gets you so far. Faith only
Hmm.
takes you so far. At some point, you're like, excuse me, this is my MFing reality. I want, I want a real answer. I
Right.
want to, don't tell me I have to vibrate high and then I get what I want. That sucks. What does that say to the part of us that doesn't vibrate high? Oh, you're
Right.
broken. Oh, you need to be
Mm.
fixed. That
And then it
sucks.
and that affects your psyche, which now we talking about like your mental health and all that stuff.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And it's a black hole. You
Right.
never ever get vibrating high enough, right? We're never
Yeah.
there. There's always like, I can go higher. I can do better. I can do better. And it just becomes this black hole of there's no end.
Right.
And then when you just take a break, back off, and
Right.
just see what's right in front of you, which is you. The one part of you that has never left your side will always answer you if you have a question audibly. I can hear
Right.
the answer. Well,
Right.
is going through the experiences with you. Law of attraction. Esther Hicks, loved her. Abraham Hicks. Esther Hicks channels Abraham Hicks. And one of the things they would say about source or God is that source can't go into your pain with you, or won't, excuse me, not can't, won't. It's like source is always over here where everything's joy, joy, happy, happy in your vortex.
Mhm.
And if you choose to go into anger, source is sitting there going, okay, you can do that, but I'm not going with you. I'm going to sit over here. And I'm like,
Right.
I don't know any parent who would do that to their child, who would
Right.
sit there and say, oh, you're sad. Well, I really am not going to interact with that with you. I'm going to be over here making waffles. It's a parent is going to sit there and say, oh, well, tell me about it. What kind of
Right.
day did you have? What happened?
Right.
you know. And it's so there's just the little things that made me go, hmm, hmm. Like when I was little, heaven and hell. I was like, what father would create a hell for his children?
Right.
Eternal suffering. No father would do that to their
Right.
children.
Right.
Speaking to a father of four. Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Doesn't matter how bad they are. Doesn't matter if they're a
Right.
murderer. You still wouldn't
Right.
do that to your child.
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane. And like I said, the question, like you said, when it comes to religion, I want answers, right? And that's how I was
Yeah.
growing up. And plus, it was religion for me was like forced on me. That's another big no too. So that, and plus combating that with wanting real answers, like tangible answers, like
Yeah.
I never got that. Or especially people that say they religious and say they walk their life and they contradict everything they say they believe in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or that you stump
Cop out.
them with your questions. You ask them questions they can't answer. It's like, you want me to believe if you don't truly believe, right?
Yeah.
You can't say you
Well,
believe
and that's
something
where
if you,
faith comes in, right? Oh, you
yeah,
just have to take it on faith. Yeah, no. But because
yeah,
that's not who we are. We
right,
are the feel it, taste it, touch it beings. And, while faith can take you so far, at
right,
some point your questions get bigger than the faith.
right,
And then you feel bad for not having faith.
yeah. So you had a podcast titled "The End of Shrinking," right? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because um, so you was on another person. You was a guest on the podcast. You was talking about it, and then you also had one on YouTube where you was talking about it. And I like where you was going with that. So can you just like tell us about that?
Yeah, that wasn't a podcast. That was just a video.
Oh, video.
On my YouTube video, I'll just do little blurbs of the end of shrinking. Well, first tell me, what did you like? What kind of stood out to you, so I can go down there.
Well, the first thing was, it was hilarious. I forgot the woman's name, and you was like, some woman asked you a question or something, or I don't know, she was a counselor or a therapist or something like that. I don't remember. And you said that she tried to put you,
She tried to
she tried
shrink
to
me.
shrink you, yeah, shrink you, and that's when you drew the comparison between like shrinking, like in size, like the actual word,
Yeah,
and with a shrink though, you said it's one and the same. So I mean, that's what started it for me, because I actually
yeah,
laughed.
I know.
And
Me too.
it's like, a lot of therapists, a lot of people that you consult with, what they do is they try to bring you down so you can understand what they want to put out there, right? And it's like, don't stop thinking outside the box. Think here with me. So it's like shrink you. So I
Yeah.
like that you said that.
Yeah, definitely. The end of shrinking is like, again, the unmasking. It's that permission to go as big as you go.
Mhm.
Your big is not necessarily somebody else's big, right?
Right.
Where I go in the enormity of who I am is, some people aren't going to get it. Cool. Very awesome. Because at some
Right.
point you will, but also, what is your end of shrinking? So
Right.
I have a saying that is this: if you detect bullshit, toxicity, or the invitation to dumb yourself down to the level of what they need, don't do it. Don't be
Right.
afraid. Be the dragon.
To be the dragon. Yeah.
There, be the dragon. And that's the end of shrinking. Is it's like, how many of, like, okay, so let's say you go to Thanksgiving with your family. Are
Right.
how much of you, the real you, gets to come out around them? How
Right.
much are you shoving back in the closet, just left it at home, right?
Right.
How do those conversations you have with your family feel deep and expansive? Do you feel like you come away going, oh, that was so good, I need to write that down? Or do you come away going, yeah, that pumpkin pie was good? you know?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I was on a podcast with a psychologist, actually a therapist, I think. And what this therapist wanted to do was, when the podcast was over, she offered me a free counseling. She goes, I want to know what happened in your past that makes you think like you do. And I'm like going, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm like, you're trying to shrink me. And so
Right.
what that means to me is when we're talking about the past,
Yeah.
when we latch onto the past, we strap it onto our back like it's some aspect of us, especially trauma and those stories, and we carry them around like there's some motherfucking trophy, and it's
Right.
like, drop that. Who would you be if everything about you forgot? If you got hit on the head, got amnesia, lost your name, lost everything about you except from this moment forward, would you stop being you? No.
I mean, no, it'll be a revised you. I mean, if you can't remember anything from your past, it's like starting
Yeah.
over. I mean, so from that point on, that's what you're gonna remember. So it's like rebuilding. But you should never
Yeah.
really see. That's a
Does
tricky
it
thing because
define you?
no, but that's a tricky question because I was about to say that it's good to forget about the traumas and all these things. Right, but on the other hand, it's not because those traumas and things that happen in your life. It's what made you who you are. So it's like so if we was able to fully forget
Bullshit.
about,
I'm calling bullshit on that one.
yeah, how come?
No, they don't make you who you are. They don't define you, because it's easy to say that, because
Right,
that's looking back. That's like going,
right,
ooh, these are shiny. They're special. I'm proud of this. I'm not so proud of that, but I'm proud of this. And I have these things because of that, children.
yeah.
But what I asked was, does it define you? Do these children define you,
As a
Desmond?
as an individual, no.
Okay, that's all you have to know. I'm not saying we're going to get rid of your children. I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
saying,
no, no.
but what this does is this really, again, helps you to step into, I rock. I
Right,
rock. Instead of being like, well, I'm okay, but I got to get better. Well, I'm okay, but I got to get better.
right,
In this moment, what this does is there's no more getting better. There's no more seeking. There's no more anything. It'll still happen, but you
right,
don't need it to be a better person. It's
right,
still going to happen. You're still going to expand. You're still going to learn more about yourself. You're still going to have those amazing experiences, but now they don't define you. You are standalone amazing. Did that make sense?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I got you. So there's a quote that you said that stood out to me. Right, you said you were never meant to fit. You're here to redefine the room that you walk into.
Yeah.
Now, what was going on in that period that made you come up with that?
My whole life and I think it has a lot to do with being the youngest of six. My whole life, there's always been this pull to stand out, to be unique. And I don't think it's unique to me. I think everybody feels that. I think
Right.
everybody feels their their uniqueness, that there is nobody out there like you, and there never will be. Even if you have a
Mm,
twin, that twin is not you. Doesn't have the same likes as you, doesn't even look exactly like you. It's not possible. And so what happens, I think, is we try to get fit into boxes, especially when someone says, what's your niche? What's your niche? You're gonna be a life coach? Okay, what's your niche? And you're sitting here going, so when
right.
people are asking me, what do I do? I'm like, I do Kristen Clark. That's what I do.
I like
I
that.
don't, yeah, because she's bigger than anything, any label I could put on.
Right.
And, because without her, none of those labels exist anyway. Without your
Mm,
attention to anything, none of those things exist. And on a
mm,
level, we know this. And so we feel that pull to stand out, because this right here is going, hello, are you seeing
right.
how amazing you are? Are you seeing how unique you are? Are you telling yourself? Are you talking to yourself as, holy shit, you are amazing? How are
Right.
we talking to ourselves? So we have that pull. And it's every time I took on anything that I thought was the answer, like non duality or law of attraction or whatever, there was this dumbing down being invited. There was this,
Mm.
okay, you are amazing, but if you want these things you desire, your dreams, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, and you got to do this, and then you'll get your dreams. And part of me is
Mm.
like going, just like I did with you, bullshit. That's not true. And it's the
Right.
bigger part of you. And we can shut it down. We can sit there and go, shh, no, don't rock the boat. You're not supposed to say those things. God might hear you. Oh my God, Josh. And and then you get to where you're like, okay, nobody struck me with lightning. I'm still here. All that stuff is gone, but
Right.
I'm still here.
Right.
And this is what you always come back to. I'm still here. I'm still
Right.
here. I vibrated really low. I was angry. I was mad. I was everything they tell you not to do. Everything the Instagram influencers go, I did it.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
still here. And not only did I do it, but I got some pretty amazing things. So manifestation ain't based on that. Sorry, that's another line of BS.
I got you. So another quote that you said that I like was you said, "Scars are lessons; they're not life sentences." So
Mm.
I'm big on quotes and stuff. So when I seen
Yeah,
them,
I
it
love
just I don't know, it just
that.
yeah, it just resonated with me, and I liked
Yeah.
it. It's simple, but it's meaningful.
Yeah,
The
there's a
scars,
shrinking,
right? They're
oh,
lessons,
tell
not
me
a life
about your
sentence.
scars, right? Go to a
Right.
therapist, lay on the couch, and for 20 years you keep talking about the same scar over and over and over. Oh, my father abandoned me. And then when that therapist is like going, okay, can you tell me something new? You go to a different therapist. Oh, my
Right.
father abandoned me. And it's like that's making a scar a life sentence. But the coolest thing about the scars is this: when you get cut, you get a hurt some way or another, doesn't your body heal it? Your body heals it just fine. You might have to go to
Right.
the doctor and get stitches, but your
Right.
body does all the work. Your body heals it without any help from you. Oh, I've got a cut. I need to go to my therapist now, you know?
Right.
And the internal scars are no different. The
Right.
wounds you get inside heal just fine naturally.
Hmm.
Some people who really love the telling of the stories over and over and over and over, and look what I survived. There's that, those trophies are carrying around. It's fine. It's a fine place to play, and it's not going to make you less you. But good God, at some point, you got to realize that you don't need to play in that playground. You do not
Right.
need to do that because your body heals your scars just fine. There is magic in those scars. There's
Right.
wonderful magic. And when you allow that magic to just be you, just to say, look what I survived and I got to the other side. I always get to the other side. Look what I did. And just be proud of the part of you that got to the other side. I was on a podcast where they want to talk about the trauma survival, trauma survival, and I was just like, that's not the breakthrough. The breakthrough isn't in the survival. The breakthrough is in seeing that you always get to the other side. You, the me, always gets to the other side, even if it's
Right.
death.
Mm. Interesting. I mean, yeah, interesting. So, all right, so let's touch on this first segment, right? About the whole manifestation thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is manifestation?
You, you. Manifestation is not a thing. It's who you are.
Hmm.
And it's okay. So you woke up this morning and the sun came up. You did that. What did you do to make that happen? Not a damn thing. You rolled out of bed. That was all you did. You didn't
Right.
vibrate high. You didn't, spin clockwise naked under the full moon and sing Waka Waka. You didn't do any ceremony. And
Right.
it's everything in your life, everything. Your kids, the trees outside, the car you drive, the picture behind you, the microphone in front of you. You manifested all those things. And the cool thing is this, looking at that microphone, can you remember a time you really wanted that really
You
nice looking podcast microphone?
said, can I remember a time where I wanted it?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. If
And
you say
and
this is the
now
exact one, then no, but
no,
a
but you
microphone,
wanted a
yeah.
microphone for your podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Right.
now you have it. And it was
Right.
no big deal. You didn't sit there and go, oh, look what I manifested. You're
Right.
like, yeah, I got a microphone. Yeah. So
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I can remember a time when I wanted these and I wanted these earrings and I wanted this necklace and this. I mean, everything. I can remember a time when I wanted them and now I have them. And I wanted
Right.
that cup and now I have it. And that's manifestation.
Okay.
It's when you make it a process, you're making it bigger than you. And when we
Okay.
make anything bigger than us, we kind of glitch. There's a part of us that's like,
Right. So, how is manifesting different from dreaming, hoping, wishing, and wanting?
I don't think there is a difference.
You know?
Unless you create it. I mean, if you're sitting here saying, oh, manifestation is a process where I have to vibrate high, and then when I want comes to me, then yeah, then it is something different. Because dreaming is just a dream. Oh, I wish, whereas manifestation is an effort. But when you understand that manifestation is not an effort, it's just who you are. It's okay. So look at it this way. So in this room that you're in, there are hundreds of radio frequencies, right? You can't see them, but there's frequencies are in the air all around you. You could bring in a radio, turn the dial to 98.7, and boom, you'd have the radio station you wanted, right?
Right.
And then, and even though you're listening to this one station, there's the country music, there's the opera, there's the rock and roll, there's rap, there's all these other stations floating around. And all you have to do is push a button and you go straight through it to it.
Right.
It's that simple. That's manifestation. You are surrounded by frequencies, all these frequencies. And you can walk as the person who struggles and what story are you telling about yourself, and you're tuned to that frequency. That's
Right.
who you are, right? Or you can sit there and say, oh yeah, the sun's up, awesome, and not even realize that you did it, but you just tuned to the frequency of where's the sun, and boom, boom, or there's the sun. You're constantly shifting, and you do these without thinking. You're not purposefully trying to do this, because when you're purposefully trying to manifest the car of my dreams, you are actually tuned to the frequency of I don't have it yet. And that's a radio station that ain't going to play the other music. It's only going to play one type of music, and that music is I don't have it. So when I say it's who you are, who are you being? What inner conversations are you having?
Right. So I got what you're saying, but yeah, so that's what I was kind of getting to, like, because so when you say like to manifest something, you what you're saying is just well, what I feel like you're saying is just being one with like frequencies and things of that nature. Is that what you were getting
Just
at?
be you. Just be you.
Yeah.
Honestly, just be you.
Right.
Because the minute you're like, okay, how do I manifest this? You're now on the frequency of how do I manifest? I don't manifest naturally. I manifest through effort. And it never works. It never works. As somebody who tried to manifest stuff for 30 years, yes, you'll eke out a little something here and there. And you're like, oh, there's my proof. Really? Is that the kind of proof you want? That once a year you get a little, you find a dollar bill on the ground? Do you really want to be that? And so it honestly, when you come to the you that is always there, never stops existing, is always gets to the other side. Even like if you're looking at your balance in the bank, oh my God, I'm at zero, or actually I'm at negative something, you still
Mm.
manage to have food, don't you? You
Right.
still manage. That's you. That's who you are. There's all
I,
this surface stuff, and it doesn't mean anything.
mm.
You're
Well,
about to say
also,
something.
yeah, I was gonna say like dreaming, hoping, wishing, wanting, right? I was gonna say that just puts us in a state of lack, right?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
reminder that we don't have something, right? And it's just
exactly.
words. When you wish for something, it's just words or not there.
Yeah.
Um, when you hope for something, the same thing. And I would say like when it comes to manifesting, right? It's declaring what you want, right? It's setting a plan, a goal to how you're gonna get there.
But isn't that bigger than you? Isn't that saying this process is how I manifest? Oh my God, I was in lack. I just screwed everything up. Oh no. See, you're making all that bigger than you. What if you can't screw it up?
Right.
No,
But
see, but,
shouldn't
oh, here
should
come the buts.
shouldn't there be a space where we want to improve? Like, but just going day
Yeah,
to day saying, I'm just gonna be me. I don't see how a person can progress that way.
because you
You know
got
what
to
I'm
go
saying?
there. You got to go
So
there.
mm,
Every single day, every single freaking there are times where I'm like, stop with the improvement, stop with these epiphanies. I need to
mm,
stop. I need a break. the more the
mm,
more you play here in that relax, there's nothing you have to do, the cool, the bigger it all comes rushing in like crazy. You start understanding more and more about you. Talk about improvement. Oh, what would you rather be? Somebody who's broken and isn't ever, can't ever get to that, okay, you did it, you're there, or somebody who's like, you're amazing. You don't have to do anything because it's amazing. The minute you tell yourself you don't have to do it, now you want to do it.
you said which one would I rather be though? The person that's broken and say repeat that again so I can
Yeah.
accurately answer it.
So to make it easier for you, so let's say, okay, I gotta lose weight. I gotta lose 20 pounds, or in men, they always want to gain. I gotta gain 20 pounds. I don't have enough muscle. I gotta gain. I gotta gain. That
Right.
becomes a black hole you can't get the hell out of because you're
Mm,
living in this space of, like you said, lack. I'm broken. And it just becomes this self fulfilling prophecy. It's just like, I'm broken. Okay, here you go. I'm broken. Okay, here you go. Okay, here you go. But when you start going, okay, I'm not broken. I'm not, you can imagine yourself 20 pounds heavier. You can go there. You can see yourself all ripped and strong and walk around and say, I am. You can do that. You can do that. But what happens when you forget? What happens
right.
when one of your kids falls and you're fixing his boo boo and you've forgotten all about being 20 pounds heavier and stuff? What happens in
Right.
those moments? Oh, I screwed up. I'll have to start all over again tomorrow. Do you
Mm.
like being that person?
I mean, no, but such is life, though, right? Like, so the
Whose
one thing
life?
my life or
Yeah.
our life. I mean,
No,
it's
don't
just
say
the way of the
our.
world. so, all right. So I wanted to add something to what you said before when you was like,
Wait. You
okay,
don't get
go
to
ahead.
gloss over that.
Okay. Um.
So, your life
Yeah.
and what you're seeing and what
Yeah.
your children are seeing are vastly different things, right?
Right.
Yeah, hugely different things. What you're seeing, what I'm seeing, hugely different things. What,
Right.
your audience, each one of your audience people, what they're seeing and what you're seeing are vastly different things, because we have different experiences. So you definitely get to say, well, isn't this life? Okay,
Right.
it is for you. And so you start saying I instead of we. And that's more fun because now I
Right.
get to go, ooh, look at the world Desmond lives on. But
Right.
when you say we, it's like, where's this we? I only see you and me. And in this moment, this is the population of the whole world right now is you and me because that's all we
Right.
see. You can
Right.
assume You can assume there's 7 billion. I don't know what number we're up to. You can assume that, but you've got no viable proof. Zero
Right.
proof in this moment right now. So again, this is part of the metaphysical, is keeping it as simple as possible, because as Occam's razor says, what's the simplest answer? That's the answer. And when you play here, when you really interact with here, you start seeing a whole world you didn't see before. And it's
Right.
just fun. It's not going to make or break you. You can't stop existing. It's just fun.
Right. Now, what I was gonna say before is, when I was talking about progression, right? And you said that's me putting something higher than me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let me see if I can, throw a curveball in there for a minute.
Cool. Do it.
So it's, when we talk about self progression, it's self progression, right? It's something we try to do to better ourselves. So in essence, isn't that putting me on up top? Because it's something I'm trying to improve in, right? I'm here, but I want to be here. So it's like, as long as I have that mindset that I want to be greater, that's me. That's me putting me at the top. Nothing. That's not me putting progression at the top, right?
Yeah, but don't you have to do the progression in order to get there?
Yeah, but it's for self, right? So
Yeah.
it's not me
Yeah.
putting
But
progression above
what if
me.
you forgot that progression technique? What if you forgot
Mm,
it? So now are you not ever going to get there? It's always having a there is what it is.
right, right,
And yeah, I mean, especially if we're thinking of working out, there is this natural progression. And I'm gonna help you understand this a little bit better.
hmm,
So where I come from a little bit better. So you're talking in a space of time. I was born, I live, I die. And in these lives, I learn more. I go to school to learn so I can get better, so I can get smarter. I do all these things to get better. So in that instance, in that situation, absolutely. Yes, that's
mm,
a great thing to do. But you have to be really on the lookout of, if you don't, if okay, so you're get up in every morning at 6 o'clock and go work out. I got to start running every day. This is my progression to get better.
right,
Your kid's sick and you got to stay home. Now, what's that do to your mindset? What's that do to how you're thinking about yourself? Oh my God, I didn't get my run in today. I suck. Oh my God, this is going to set me so far behind. Da 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 da. Not right or wrong, good or bad. Just a place to vibrate in. Just a place, a frequency to interact with.
right,
No big deal. No big deal.
mm,
Now, in this moment, you and I are brand new. You
right,
have you've never been the age you are right now, right?
right,
This moment right now, this second, you've never been this age. You've never not in this moment, the light, the time, everything is brand new. You've never been in this moment ever. You've never been thinking these thoughts before like this. You might have something similar, but it's not this exactly. And now in this moment, you're brand new again. You're having all different thoughts. You're having all different experiences, different time of day. You've never been this age before.
right,
And now
right,
you've never been this. So in every single moment, you are brand new. Every single
right,
moment. Even if you're looking at the past, doesn't matter. You're doing it from this brand new moment. Now, interact with this for a second. You don't need to do anything about it. You don't need to grab it. You just need to, oh, yeah, I've never been this particular age before. I am
right,
1 second older than I was a second ago. Oh, wow.
right,
Right. And this is all really true. This is scientific fact. You can prove. I've never been this age. I've never been in this particular temperature at this particular time of day, thinking these particular thoughts. I've never had that combination. It's brand new, fresh,
right,
brand new. And here you are again. Here you are again. That aspect of you is out of time. It's
mm,
outside of time. It's when you play with this, oh, brand new, brand new, brand new moment. All those thoughts, all those worries evaporate. They disappear. All those sayings of lack, I am not good enough, I need to do this process to get better, they disappear. just for a
Right.
split second, just for a second, they disappear because you're looking at something else that's
Right.
outside of time.
Mm.
Because you don't really go from now to now to now to now. That's time. You just sit here in the center as you, and I'll show you this you here in a minute, and all this stuff swirls around you. You're just sitting here outside of time. All these memories, all these have tos, all these yeah buts, they're all swirling around you. They don't make you, they don't define you. You define you. So if
Right.
you're thinking back to your very first birthday party you can ever remember, very, it
Mm.
might, might be, I know, right? It's like, oh, I don't know, my 20-year-old birthday party, I don't know. Your very first birthday party you could ever remember, you just little bits and pieces. But can you feel you, this Desmond right here, in that?
No.
You can see, really?
You talk about like if you go
Don't give me
take a
the
trip
answer you
down memory.
think I want. Give me the answer that's right.
That's what I'm saying. Like you talk about taking a trip down memory lane. Can I feel the current me in that situation? No, I mean no, because
No,
time
no, not
changes. I
in
change.
that situation, observing that situation, remembering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can you feel you remembering that?
I
Kind
mean,
of,
well, yeah, because I mean,
yeah.
see, that's tricky because it's like it's me
It's
thinking
not
about it. So I
tricky.
mean, obviously, I can feel myself
Yeah, exactly. It's not,
thinking about it.
yeah, don't try and go too big. With me, remember, it's always simple. It's super simple. And
Okay.
so, the first time you had sex, yeah, you had vastly different ideas about life and beliefs and what kind of
Right.
women you liked and everything, or men or whatever. But going back and thinking about that experience, you can still feel you. You have a certain frequency, a
Right.
feeling. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's not nameable. It's just a certain frequency. There's no
Right.
age to it. There's nothing to define it. It's just me. It's just the
Right.
frequency of me, the me that never changes.
Right.
So that me, the one that never changes, the one that's in all your memories, the one that's viewing everything, that's that out of time me. That's that me that's just sitting here and everything's swirling around you. That's that me that doesn't have to, the only way I can progress is to do a process.
Right.
That me doesn't need to have anything up here to be better. That me doesn't have to be better. And the cool thing is if you try and understand that me from the yeah but version of you, what one of my podcasts was called the but people. When you try to understand that, you can't. It's like yeah but that's the but people. When you just let go of all of that, all these explanations, there's the seeker. When you just let go of that, even if it's just for a split second, you're going to
Mm.
see there's a whole universe you haven't played yet. And it's a
Right.
universe you can call unlimited, that you are the center of this universe. And there's nothing defining you, giving you laws or rules, nothing but you.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of
Oh,
this ain't going to make sense, but it will. At someday you're going to go, oh, that's what you meant.
right. 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 Like I said, I like thought provoking things, and like I'm listening to you, and it's like some of it I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying now. Some of it I'm like, it's like critical thinking. I got to sit there and like really ponder on it and like, okay, where is she going with this? You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because sometimes as you speak, I'm like, all right, I know where she's going, but then I'm like, no, I don't. Like you know what I'm saying? I took a little detour somewhere,
That's the
but
butt
yeah,
people.
oh, that was funny to the butt people, the
The
yeah
butt
butt people.
people. Yeah.
Um, Now you mentioned the law of attraction before, right? Is the law of attraction the framework to understanding manifestation?
It's one it's one of the avenues of playing with manifestation. Let's say that.
Okay.
You
Hmm.
already see, the thing is you were born, if we're going to go into born, you were born manifesting like a
Right.
mofo. You don't you, like I said, the sun, hello, you do it every single day. You don't even know you're doing it.
Right.
So the minute somebody says, oh, there's this thing called breathing, let me tell you about it. You got to do this and this and this if you want to breathe. And this is how you got to breathe. And part of you is going, nuh-uh. I do it all the time, and I do it without thinking. And I don't have to, yeah, I can make a process out of it. I could do deep breathing. I can do circular breathing. There's all sorts of fun things I can do. Does that mean I
Right.
don't breathe when I'm not thinking about those things? No. And
Right.
manifestation's the same way. Yes, you can go into all sorts of fun avenues to play with manifestation. Does that mean you're not manifesting when you don't think about it? No. You manifest constantly.
Mm,
Constantly.
mm. That was a nice little breakdown because, like I said, the way I look at manifestation, it's like, like I said, it's putting in the work. So it's like if you already set yourself in the process, just in case you get preoccupied with something else, you're still in that process. So it's one of those
Yeah.
things where you said earlier, I'm still here, right? So the work is still there, right? Because essentially, as you said before, it's you. Manifestation is
Yeah.
you. So you're still
Yeah.
here. So everything about you, your thought process, everything else, still there. Just like when you're sleeping, right?
Yep.
You still
Yep.
breathing, like what you were just saying. When
Yeah.
you're sleeping, you're still breathing. You're not
You
thinking
don't
about
need to
breathing, but
worry
it's
about it.
right, right. It's
Yeah.
just
Your heart's
it is what it is.
beating. Yeah. And these are all understanding every single one of those little things that you're understanding right now is all the avenues that are they just make it your world bigger and different and easier. And because bottom line, we all just want freedom. We want to be free. We think we
Right,
want
right,
money. No, you want freedom. You want freedom to swipe your card anywhere, everywhere, and nobody's going to blink an eye. You want freedom to buy what you want, have what you want, go where you want, do what you want. It's all about freedom. And that's why we manifestation, because we think freedom's within manifestation.
but see, that's where it gets a little murky, a little confusing about your message, because you said we all think we want money, but we don't. We want the freedom, right? Well, without the money, we can't have that freedom. So essentially, we do want the money.
Bullshit. Do you have money
Well,
right now? Do you have money in your hot
slowly.
little hand? Where? Show me.
Oh, do I have it in my head now?
Yeah, no.
Wait,
No.
but
No, but let's go here because this is great because everybody's all
I'm a
about the
butt guy.
money.
I
There's
just
some butt
became a butt
people.
guy.
There's some butt people. Oh my God. We're all like, excuse me, I want money. I want to hold a wad in my hand. Okay. And then you do. And now what? Does this
Right,
define you? Does this wad of money define you? No, but it makes life a hell of a lot easier. Well, spoken like a true time butt person. So, money, I mean, really think about it these days, especially these days. Where do you ever see money? I mean, you swipe a card. You don't, very rarely do you ever see cash money. You look at a number on a screen and you let that define you. You're like,
right,
oh, this is how much money I have. No, it's not. No, it's
right,
not. Not at all. Because money is not something that can go away from you. You just tell it, move over here, move over there, move, but money's not going away from you. It's just moving around. It's part of that swirling around you. It can't get away from you because
right,
you are here 24/7. And so when you see a Mercedes Benz go by, that's
right,
money. That's money going hi as it swings on by. I'm over here. When you go into a gas station and the cashier person's getting ready to go home and they're counting out their drawer and there's all this cash in front of you. That's money coming to you. That's money going hi. Hi, money is everywhere around you. It's constantly. It doesn't
right,
have to be in your hand. It is everywhere. When you've got gas, for heat. Money is everywhere. And it's just if we're defining it tiny as these coins and this paper and I need more of that, then again, that's that play and lack. But when you just realize that money is everywhere, all around you, those
right,
necklaces you're wearing, I look at that, I see money.
Right.
Your shirt is totally freaking money. Hello, your shirt is like screaming money. And so,
Right.
yeah, money can't go away from you. It just has
Right.
to do what you say. It says, sir, yes, sir. When you say something about it, money is scarce. Sir, yes, sir. I don't have enough money. Sir, yes, sir. You know, money is there just going where you tell it to go.
Right.
Oh, got me going on money there.
And um, what is shifting realities?
Ooh, fun. So we talked about frequency earlier, the whole radio
Right.
thing. That's shifting realities. I mean, truly,
Mm.
that's it. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's that. So everything in life, money, um, business,
Right.
people, ideas, everything in life responds to your frequency. Everything.
Right.
And your frequency is that radio station. So the radio station isn't just one thing. It's music and talking and all this stuff. Static sometimes if you're in the mountains like I am. It's all this stuff, right? You are all these things. Your feelings and thoughts and ideas and memories. Talk about manifestation. Memories. We manifest memories like nobody's business. Anyway, that's another whole. And so, so your frequency, are you walking around and dressing as what you think a professional person, a successful professional person would? That's a frequency you're putting out. You're not going to put it out 24/7. Make peace with that. But when you're playing in that frequency, you are shifting to a reality that's much different than when you're like, look like you just crawled out of bed and you're wearing some ratty old shirt. You think much differently about yourself in those moments. And so you're shifting frequencies, you're shifting realities. But you see, the thing is this, you shift realities all day long without thinking about it. When you go
Right.
from the bathroom to the kitchen, that's a huge shift of reality. You're no longer the bathroom Desmond. You are now the kitchen Desmond. You are the father Desmond. You are the podcast host Desmond. Those are different realities. Now,
Right.
people talk about, purposefully shifting realities. And again, that's that whole breathing thing. Yeah, you can do it, but you already do it. You do
Right.
it amazingly, so amazingly that it's like, uh, are you sure? This is just me normal. Yeah, yeah, you're that
Right.
amazing. Yeah, you're already doing all this magical stuff.
Right.
Yeah. We
So
think magic is I dream a genie, crossing the arms and blinking the eyes.
so
That was probably
it's
before your time.
what the genie?
Yeah. I
Like
dream a
like
genie.
oh
Wasn't that
yeah,
before your time?
I dream a genie. What is I don't know what that is.
See? Oh my
That don't know that
God.
don't necessarily means before my time. I just maybe not just heard of it before. Like
It was way before your time because it was
it,
almost before my time.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
So
genie.
so how far back is this?
God, when was this? Is this it was when TV was still black and white.
Oh,
Um dude. Yeah, this is me. TV was still black and white because they had the first few episodes were black and white. I
hmm,
Dream a Genie, and it's just about this astronaut that finds a genie, and she's very cute and pretty, and she's magic, and she just crosses her arms and blinks her eyes, and Barbara Eden played the dream. Yeah, you got to check it out because it's really cool. There was another show called Bewitched right about the exact same time,
well,
and
I've heard it be what. Oh,
yeah.
1965.
Oh, there you go. Yep, it was 1 year before I was born.
Yeah, my mother was 5. She was 5.
I
I
was
wasn't even a
0.
thought. Yeah.
But it
So
ran. It ran until the early 70s.
yeah, it said yeah, it ran for five seasons, 5 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
dream
swear
a
it went.
genie.
Yeah, but then they kept playing the same things over and over and over, so it went on and on for a while. But all new episodes, I guess, for 5 years.
Interesting. Yeah, it's crazy how times change like that, but
You want to know what's crazy about that? Okay, we're gonna go there. I know you got a question, but we're gonna go there. So here's this woman who has
mm,
absolute power. Absolute power. She can make, create any freaking thing she wanted to. And yet, she lives in a bottle. She shrinks herself down to live in a bottle. There's the shrinking thing.
yeah, I was just about to
Yeah.
say that.
He keeps a cork on the bottle to keep her controlled. She doesn't have the power to just blink her eyes and make that cork fly out. No, no, no. She's ruled by a djinn, a big blue djinn man who tells her what she can and cannot do. Her master, she calls him master, this man.
Mm,
Oh my God, I tell you, the women these days would have a field day with this. So here's this woman who has the ability to be completely free of all control, and yet she continues to allow herself to be limited by all these so-called rules. Oh, you're a
mm.
genie, so you can't make him fall in love with you. You can't do that. Who the frick says I can't? Watch me, bitch. And so
Unfiltered. There we go.
yeah. And so the same thing with Bewitched. Here's this woman who has all this power, and yet she falls in love with a man who says, I won't love you if you use that power. I won't love
Mm.
you. And so, oh, but I love him, so I won't use my power. I'll hide it away. I'll make myself shrink down to his level. So no wonder the butt people are everywhere.
Amazing. The question I was going to ask you was: is reality a fixed and objective truth, or is it subjective and shaped by individual perception and beliefs?
100% subjective. One.
Mm,
Okay, so there's going to be a lot of people listening that are going, "What is subjective? Let me get. What does subjective mean?" Subjective means it's exactly what I said, Desmond, earlier when I said what he's seeing and what his kids are seeing are two totally different things. So you can
right.
take two people and they can walk down the exact same street and they're going to see vastly different things. Part of this
Right.
has to do with the reality shifting around. I mean, literally, you can be going, that's a yellow house, and your friend's like, no, not really. That's not a yellow house. I mean, truly, our reality is so malleable, so
Mm,
malleable. So think of it like this: you've got a memory. You're hanging out with a friend. 10 years ago, you guys went and did something. I don't know, some concert, something. And you're like going, oh man, remember when we went to this concert and this and this and this happened? And your friend's going, that's not what happened. It happened like
mm,
this and this and this. And now, in that moment, what was a concrete memory now starts shifting. And you're like,
mm,
oh, you're right. It did happen like that. Whereas two
mm.
seconds before, you were 100% sure, positive that was what happened.
Right. Right.
That happens all the time. We do that all the time, all the time. And that it wasn't that you were wrong and remembering something wrong and vice versa. That was just play with, you're in this moment right now, brand new, brand new, brand new. You've always been right here, brand new, brand new. All these memories you have, you're just manifesting them to support something you want to talk about,
Mm,
a state of being.
mm.
And that's all memories are. They're just thoughts. They're just
Right.
thoughts. Where were we going here? What was the question?
Well, I mean, the question I said, is reality a fixed and objective truth,
Oh,
or is
yeah.
it subjective and shaped by individual perceptions and beliefs?
Yeah,
That was the
yeah,
question.
definitely. And that's why it's subjective, is because you constantly get to say, no, this is what I see. I know you see
Mm,
this, but I don't. And
mm,
so when it comes to manifestation, you get to play with a certain definition because that definition speaks to you, makes sense to you. But that definition may be like, what are you talking about? Let's talk about bullshit. Let me tell
right.
you. So all I'm doing with my reality is I'm never telling somebody how to live. I'm just going, my reality's fun and it's alive. Let me take you for a little trip through here. Come on, Alice. Let me grab you by the hand and let's go for a trip through my reality, because my reality is my own subjective, what I see and what I interact with. But you also have the objective playground. You get circumstances saying, this is the way it is. Outside circumstances saying, no, 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 your president is this person, and you're like, well, that sucks.
Right.
But you do not have to play there. You do not have to play there, because where is this person? I don't see him. I just see Desmond and me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So can the practice of shifting realities distort the human mind and mental health?
Mental health?
Yes.
In a positive way, absolutely. If you are convinced that it will affect in a negative way, you're going to manifest proof of that. This is that subjective reality. What you're playing with, what you're thinking, what you're grabbing onto and saying real, you will have manifest proof. And until you're done playing with that, now you're going to manifest that you were wrong all along. And you're going to say, oh, I was wrong. And no, you were never wrong. You're just creating, always creating.
Right.
Playing
so I guess, go ahead.
I was going to say, playing with objective kind of keeps things very unchanging. This is the way it is. This is the way it is. And when you play in subjective, you get to give everything a brand new role. So a minute ago, I was talking about money, how money is cannot leave you. And it goes where you say. Now, that might have been a powerful aha to some people. What happens in that moment of aha is you realize that you just gave money a new role. It never played this game before of always being present. It never played that before. Just because I said it, now it goes, oh, cool. New game, new fun game I've never played. See, a lot of times we think all these things that I'm saying existed before this moment. It didn't. You're creating it right now. So when we play with mental health and all of that, what are you saying? Do you want to create that reality? Do you want to have proof of that? Okay, no big deal. You're not right or wrong or good or bad. You still exist.
Right. Well, I think what I was trying to say is, like, when we talk about like shifting realities, it's like how we do, like bending the truth, or we try, like you said, like we can walk the same street and then I see things differently than how you see it, right? So that's like our mind plays tricks on us, right? Like it get distorted to the point where you could say something and I say something, then like I start to believe what you're saying. That's like, it's like getting mind fucked in a sense. So when we focus on shifting realities, right, it's like changing things or changing the trajectory of path, right? So if you do that enough, that's what I was saying, could that mess with your mental health? Like if like, say for
Only
instance,
if
if a
you think
person
it's wrong. Only if you think that shifting realities is bullshit. If you're, so you were talking really eloquently there, by the way, but you were talking from the objective personality. You're like, this is the way it is. This is how it is. If I do this, won't this screw me up? Because this shifting reality isn't true. It's not happening. You can't do that. So then, yes, you will create this whole, ooh, this is scary. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But if you understand that you're shifting realities constantly, especially with memories, you're shifting things around all the time without looking, you're now you see that there's no mental anything to screw up. There's nothing to screw you up and mess you up. There's just this reality you're playing in. So, like, okay, so right now there's a bathroom in your house, right? There's a bathroom somewhere outside that door. Prove it.
Huh?
Exactly.
I mean, you can prove it. All I have to is open the door. It's right.
Yeah, you're assuming that. For all we know, there's nothing outside that door other than a void waiting for you to manifest an assumption, right? So in this moment, you've got nothing to prove there's anything outside that door. In
Right.
fact, you can't even prove there's anything behind you because you're looking at me, but you're like, oh, but on the screen I can see that. That doesn't prove shit. What happens? Okay, so yeah, I know. So this goes big. So what happens is, and they've actually been able to kind of scientifically prove this, but that's quantum fun stuff. The minute you open that door, you manifest exactly what you expect to see out there. You're manifesting that immediately. There was nothing there. You manifest it. Every time you go into a bathroom, this is what happens. You're like, the toilet's over here, the sink's over here, the towels are this color, blah, 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 blah. Boom, boom, boom. You manifest. And if you're expecting to go into somewhere and you're not sure what it's going to look like, you're not sure what's going to happen, poof, you get to manifest something new, something sparkly, something surprise. You know, you do this constantly. You're about to open the refrigerator because the butter's in there, and I know the butter's right on this shelf, and poof, there it is. However, if you're opening the refrigerator and you're going, I'm not sure if there's butter in there, maybe there is, maybe there isn't, there's a good chance you're going to open up and there's going to be nothing in there. And see, the thing is this, when you play with your reality like this, you start noticing the crazy things. So let's say you're looking for your keys. You've looked on the table where you always leave them, and they're not there. You look over here, you look over there, you look, you come back, and there they are sitting right there on the table. Wait a minute. And that shit happens all the time, right? I mean, all the time. But we get to go, oh, well, you know, I got 4 kids, somebody moved it, or whatever. You get to rationalize it to make it fit into your little box. Right. When you let yourself move beyond that objective box, you really, like I said, there's a whole universe out here. Not an imaginary universe, a very concrete, reel it, taste it, touch it, smell it, feel it universe out here playing, waiting for you to come out and play. And you're going to. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but you're going to. And you don't and when you try to get there, when you try to force it, that's taking an expectation and splashing it on something that this is expectation. This is just not going to fit in that box.
Got you. So I have a 2:00 appointment, so I have about like 10 minutes or so.
Good.
But I did want to ask this question though. What do you say to someone who asks, "Why haven't I shifted yet?"
I say you're shifting all the time. What are you saying yet?
So it's a mindset, is it not?
No.
Reality is a mindset, right?
Absolutely can be. It can be. You can play there. See, you're so unlimited in every place you get to play. You know, you're saying, I mean, I just showed you with the bathroom. That's that's the shift. That's the shift. Every time my hand is moving back and forth, that's shifts all over the place. You're shifting constantly. You ever watch the old time movies? They're a still frame, and they move the still frame through the projector, and it creates what looks like movement. Still frame.
Okay, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like, you know, this picture, and then if I brought it up again, and that it's slightly moved, the colors are changed. If you run it through a projector, it's going to create the illusion of movement. You know, you can do that with like a book. You can draw a picture and stuff. So that's in every moment. You are a still frame. We can say a breath. In a breath, you're a still frame. You're like this, and then in the next moment you're here, and in the next moment you're here. But you're seeing it so quickly. You perceive movement. You perceive talking. You perceive walking. You perceive life. Right. Each one of those still frames is a universe. It's you in one reality, and in the very next still frame, you're in another reality, a completely different universe reality. And it gives the illusion of continuity, of moving, but that's not what you're doing. Yeah. And again, when you play in these places, you start seeing evidence of this.
So you believe in alternate universes or multiple universes?
How to say this? I used to believe in that. I used to believe in that.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
now again, metaphysical, it's all about me. It's all about me.
Okay.
So it always comes back to me. What am I viewing? What am I believing? What am I assuming? What am I feeling, breathing, everything. It's always back to you. We can talk
Mhm.
about alternate universes, but it's like, what am I seeing? What am I interacting with? What am I believing about that? So the simplicity about the metaphysical is that you come back to the one that's viewing, and
Right.
that's where you start seeing. See, all these things, multiple universes, all that, is very fun, but it's fluff. It's
Right.
distractions. It's distracting you from the man behind the curtain. The man behind the curtain is you.
Right.
And every time you start getting a really good look at you, oh, sparkly thing. Cool. Awesome. That's fun. But
Right.
bring it back to you. What do I feel about it? What do I think about this? What do I want to do? Is it right or wrong? Who cares? It doesn't make me less of me. It doesn't make
Right.
me stop existing. And so when you see all these big just sparkly things around you, that's cool. That's absolutely cool. But the biggest and sparkliest is right
Mm.
here. You make, alternate realities and all that look like Play-Doh. You are so unbelievably amazing. You can take a word like alive and create a whole universe out of one word.
Mm. Interesting.
That's the next podcast.
Yeah. 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 Um. So, all right. The last question I ask is, so I noticed on
You
your
said that about the
website.
last one.
Oh, I know. I know.
Go on,
I,
I'm teasing you.
on your web page, it says you offer lessons or classes or something,
Mentorships. I
or
do
mentorship.
mentorships, and I do because I'm not a teacher. I'm not here to teach you how to do something, how to be better, because I don't see you as broken. I'm
Right.
here to help you take a trip and walk through my reality. Talk about sipping and tripping. Um, you're not gonna get much more tripping than me.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is I love live. I do every month. I do a Kristen Clark's alive. It used to be live. Now it's alive and unfiltered. And it's dynamic audience interaction. I love interacting with people and seeing where they're going and interacting with them. But I also do live events up on stages and stuff, and that's my drug of choice. But
That's good.
yeah.
That's good. I have a friend. He's been on a few of my podcasts. Eh, one of these days, I think I will pair you and him together
Oh,
because
that'd be
you
fun.
guys are like so similar. And he likes to talk about things that's beyond my reach. like like he likes to talk about quantum physics,
Ooh, love it.
aliens, UFOs, and afterlife, and things of that nature. So I think the pairing of you and him will be great.
That's
But
awesome.
that's going to conclude today's episode. To the viewers, whether you watched it live or you're going to watch it on replay, continue to support, continue to like, share, and comment. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified. But until next time, be
If
safe.
you guys need to find me, you can always find me at clark-kristen.com or Kristen MF Clark. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
And that stands for motherfucker. Yeah. Hello,
Yeah. And
Jen.
there's a lot of Kristen Clarks out there, but there's only one Kristen MF Clark.
There you go. But yeah. So there you go. She dropped her handles for you. So you want to reach out? She's there. She's a talker. So
Boy,
um,
Jen's beautiful. Look at that girl.
yeah.
Hi, honey.
Hey, Jen, I'll have to catch you on the next one because I'm about to close shop for this one. I have an appointment. So, but appreciate you for stopping by. And Kristen, I'll stay in touch.
All right.
So until next time, just be safe.
Bye.
Bye.